Good afternoon, everyone. A look at June 2021 temperature anomalies. Notice all the blue southern hemisphere. Oh, Antarctica. Hottest data set on the web. Blue color means corporate media forgot to report on it. Only red counts. Bureau of Meteorology Australia's second coldest June ever recorded. And without using the hottest data set on the web, Ryan Maue putting out June temperatures global. Can anybody explain this still runaway ice gain on Greenland during the melt season? Or the northeast U.S. forecast highs are the same as in December, but in July. Happy aphelion. Earth will be furthest from the sun. U.S. spring wheat, only 37% good compared to 71. And you'll understand why you'll pay a day's wage for a quart of wheat. Investors could still see some of the strongest price action in gold this year, according to Wells Fargo, which sees signs of a developing rally. Money managers believe we could see inflation reach new levels that we have not seen since the Jimmy Carter era. For centuries, investors around the globe have turned to gold in times of economic uncertainty. Gold supplies have flipped from excessive to deficient. And such times in the past have sparked some of gold's strongest price rallies, unquote. Patriot Gold Group has the no-fee-for-life IRA, where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold and silver, and you may be eligible for the no-fee-for-life IRA. So go ahead and give the folks at Patriot Gold Group a call to discuss physical gold and silver. And the knowledge that Patriot Gold Group is Consumer Affairs' top-rated gold IRA dealer 5 years in a row from 2016 until present. Click the link in the description box below for more information. And now on with the video. And since this channel is all about solar activity driving climate cycles known by many on multi-century or multi-millennia time frames, happy aphelion day. Earth's going to be furthest from the sun. So the tilt of the northern hemisphere of the planet brings us our summer. Cold in the southern hemisphere, and that shall reverse as we come into winter in the northern hemisphere. But taking a look at the June 2021 temperature anomalies, I want to put it into perspective. So when you watch the news and they say hottest ever, medium ever, coldest, we don't want to report on that, you get a good indication that there's different climate models running. And that's why you're getting so many different temperature variants, and how the news mainstream media style always chooses the hottest on the web, which is Climate Reanalyzer. So the pictures are worth 1,000 words. You can see a lot of cold in Australia, Antarctica, parts of India, and then Ryan Maue's chart here. It looks a little more balanced. We do see some heat in Newfoundland and up into the Arctic, but nothing like those scalding reds. You see, this is much more balanced for the eye to give you an indication of truly what's happening with temperatures. And all that blue at the bottom, this is one of my favorite charts here. Now, this is the monthly mean of June 2021. So over the entire month, 2-meter temperature anomalies, anywhere it's purple or going below that into the lighter shades of purple is what do I see, 12, 15, 20 degrees Celsius below normal temperatures. Oh, that's what the Oregon and Washington State and British Columbia stories were, about 20 degrees over the average temperature. But what happened to the reporting on this? Too far down on the bottom of the planet. Don't worry about it. Nothing's down there. Just a bunch of penguins and stuff. But over in Western Australia, even the Bureau of Meteorology confirming now, second coldest June ever recorded for the continent. And again, they're very quick to point out, well, it's only for the last 26 years since 1995 and the solar cycle 22. It's not really all time, but it's just and see how it flip-flops back and forth. The coldest ever, but the data set's so short. If we went further back in time, say 1,000 or 2,000 years, I'm wondering where it would sit in that timeline. Unusually cold month of June, particularly Western Australia. Mouse plague raging, crops lost. And just wondering what's going to happen. And then suddenly Chile, New South Wales expecting snow down to below 900 meters. And wherever you look, there's these anomalies happening that aren't being widely reported, especially on the cold side. So here's a few more. New Zealand suffering all-time record cold. Now, this is back on May 27, 28, 29. The Dunedin International Airport, coldest temperature ever set. Now, today, because it is progressing into winter a little more, it's dipping down to around 18 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit. But I love how NIWA Weather puts out, as we start a new work week, it'll be dry and chilly. Okay, 18 to 20 degrees Fahrenheit in North Island is beyond a little bit chilly, but you see how it can't continue to be constructed as record cold, record cold. Chilly and 18 degrees Fahrenheit don't go together. So that'd be the same conversion as saying it's going to be a little bit warm today, but 120 Fahrenheit in British Columbia, I don't think it would have the same headline. Do you? Over to shifting weather patterns, jet streams, multi-century cycles here. Dark purple, an enormous amount of rain. Gee, I wonder why all the Chinese were up there buying all the infertile dry farmland. Do you think they knew the cycle would shift and bring a lot more rain? It's been like that for the last 2 years up there. Yet the Chinese are the largest landowners for cattle herds in that exact same area. Oh, they had a good crystal ball, I guess. Speaking of rains, New England, July 1st through the 4th already exceeded the full June totals, saturated. Wondering how the crops are going to fare for that, because it wasn't an even rain, it was downpours. So we'll see how crop losses move forward across northeast U.S. But again, everything was focused on the heat, so I drew the circle there, real easy to see. You got the heat up there, British Columbia, Oregon, Washington. But then the unbelievable below normal temperatures across South America and central parts of the U.S. didn't even make it to even page 31 in the back. And I might point out, this is Climate Reanalyzer, the hottest on the web. So if you see a lot of like Washington Post articles, etc., they love to ping on Climate Reanalyzer. They'll never use University of Alabama, Huntsville, Dr. Roy Spencer's data. But what's most interesting is Climate Reanalyzer, even though it's the hottest data set on the web. Look at the world totals. Do I see a 0.3 Celsius above baseline? I am still wondering what happened to that runaway 2 plus, 3 plus, 4 plus, 6 plus degrees Celsius where we need to limit our lifestyles. I don't see that happening. Maybe you can double check the chart for me. Maybe I'm missing something. Oh, well, maybe all that blue on the bottom too, huh? So jumping up to tropical tidbits as always. Forecast models here. Temperature anomalies. This will take us out to July 6th and 7th. As the heat dissipates out west, record cold slamming from Newfoundland all the way to central Grow Belt, clear down into the southeast U.S. And I'm just wondering which news media organization is going to take this on right here. Over the corn growing belt, that 16 to 20 degrees Celsius below normal. How many of those organizations are going to put that on their front page news feed, the news stream? Do you think they'll hit this in the central areas all the way down to Texas and into Mexico? 20 degrees Celsius below normal? You think it'll be front page news? I am going to leave that up to you to decide. If you do find it and it is a front page article, I will give a massive shout out to any news organization that covers the cold. And the daytime high temperatures, this is off National Weather Service. Boston, Christmas Day 2020, expected high 60 Fahrenheit. And what do I see in Boston? Forecast high for July 3rd, 61. Hartford, Connecticut, July 3rd is actually below the December forecast. And I'm looking at this saying, wait, Worcester, also in Massachusetts, 57 Fahrenheit, the expected high for July 3rd, yet the expected high for Christmas Day of 2020 was 4 degrees warmer. But you got to figure, these are in sort of the same locale. I'm going to say if you're looking at a globe, these are neighbors right here. Greenland, massive ice gains. Northeast U.S. and Newfoundland. Literally, you could throw a stone over to Greenland from there. So do you think this cold event's happening in the northeast U.S. with intensified precipitation? And it snowed in Newfoundland during the last few days. And this ice gain on Greenland, do you think they're related at all? And I'm asking so many questions in the video because U.S. spring wheat crop, good to excellent, 37%. And you're like, wow, 37%. Oh, versus 71% on average. What's happening to the other percentages? Well, at least 27% of that's poor to very poor. And you'll understand why you will pay a day's wage for a quart of wheat. Hyperinflation. And if we go back to the shekel, grains of wheat were pegged to the silver weight, not the other way around. So you might want to think about food moving forward. My Patriot Supply and Adapt 2030, the 2-week or the 4-week emergency food supply. My Patriot Supply also has the 1-month, 3-month, and 1-year food supplies. That link's in the description box below. It's a great way to support the channel so I can bring you more research just like this. And all the stories, images, graphs, charts are also linked in the description box so you can do your own research. Chase down the leads I gave you. Don't believe what I say. Please do your own research. I do thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.